maybe require documenting the land access to source land. Just be fair. That's fine. Context is a calcium has no values and has no data. It's the corresponding function of the process and statistic to the whole context or the whole press. Without this,
Damn. I didn't know nobody could hear me. It should be working now, hopefully. I had the wrong mic on. That sucks. See. Anyway, I guess thank you to Bill for telling me. I had no idea. Let's see. Context, syntax equals context dot. I had audio issues. I didn't know my mic wasn't working. I was using the wrong mic, and now it's working. 46 minutes into the stream, that kind of sucks. But we move. We're getting there. Okay, so that really sucked. Now it makes sense why people were joining the stream and not saying anything, but it's all good. We live and we learn. So I guess what happens now in Find by Code is we need to actually destructure the entry. Okay, yeah, like it says here. Okay. And then I'll just do the rest myself. Okay, so we have the only thing is that I was trying to use NVIDIA Broadcast on the mic to remove noise, because if I type on my keyboard you can hear it, but I know some people don't mind, but it might bother some people as well, so I'll figure it out off stream later. All good. So we have this function here. It is code. Which will give us either the URL or an error. So we declare context here too. So context background. So we get either data or error. Because we store the entire entry, we want to destructure it and get the URL from the destructured data. So what's it called? r.points.get from our context. We're going to get should have been URL, right? URL like that plus code. Results. I'm trying my best not to look at the agent window on the right, but because a lot of it does make sense, I'm just not familiar with it that much yet, because I think this is my first time using Redis in like backend. I've used Redis in JavaScript when I was working on my personal website to manage views on the blogs and stuff, like here. But I've never like programmatically done it. Like, so like here on my personal website, if you look at the blog posts, you can see that I use Redis just to track the views on each blog. But other than that, nothing. Okay, so we get data error, and then each entry we want to. Oh, okay. So we use var because it's not constant. I mean, it sounds like a silly explanation, but I'm trying to rationalize it in my head. Okay, so var is used. So we say var entry. We don't actually assign it a value. It's going to be a type of. Okay, so it's a declaration here. We just create that variable, and then we say JSON on Marshall into a byte of data. We're going to put all of that inside entry. Or, yeah, we have to reference entry. We can't actually change it like that. Wait, so byte, is this a function? Byte is an alias. Yeah, so we're converting data into a byte array and pushing that into entry. And then we're going to get the URL from that, right? But before that, we should check if we have an error, because we don't get an error, of course. So if error is not equal to nil, we can return error. We just return error as is, right? But we also need an empty string because we couldn't find what we were looking for. Awesome. So var entry model URL entry JSON on Marshall array byte data and the address of the entry, because we actually just want to modify this, making a reference to entry. What comes next? We have that. Wait, let me see. Can I just say entry? I said entry dot. Okay, yeah. So we just basically want to return the URL if we can. And then what? So rather than using nil, so there's Redis has its own nil apparently, so I should be using that in both instead. Good to know. And here I can just return. Ooh, that's a good idea. On the stream, I should add like a link to the repo, if that makes sense. Okay, so let me just say we have, gonna move the chat box in here. Also gonna add this stuff into the HUD as well. guess I can put that here. I'm just procrastinating right now. I don't know why. What should come next? Wait, I said I was gonna put the repo. In case anyone wants to check it out, I'm gonna add that in. So I need a new text source on the stream. Sources, text. Where are you? Media, add source. Create a new source. We'll just call it repo. Say github.com/URL shoulder. That is way too big. So I'll just add that in here. Just in case, because I know some people might just stop in the stream, just be curious. They don't actually want to stay, which is completely fine. In case you want to look at the repo, you can. Perfect. Right, should work, right? Anyway, fix it later. So we should be just returning entry dot original URL. And no. I think this is correct. Cool. So are my find by x functions. There's a bug in both functions. The Redis snail check isn't void. Currently, you're returning an error when the key is found. But the error, so if we have no error, why would we be doing that? Okay, so Redis.nil is just something completely different. Oh, when key doesn't exist. Okay, I should have checked that. That's my bad. So this should be equals not. So the pattern is something else went wrong. Okay, so we check if the key exists first. If the key doesn't exist, oh, right. So we're checking if the error that we found was equal to the Redis nil error. That means that the Redis nil error is that we have no key. So we're going to return no results because we couldn't find the code. But we're also going to return errors.new. Yeah, say our key in this scenario is URL, so it's a URL. Awesome, and then we also need the other check. So say if error is not equal to nil, like we normally do, we just return no result and there. When learning new things, do you prefer to learn by writing everything out by hand rather than having Claude write it down for you? So I'm doing a mixture. That's a really good question, actually, Salim. First of all, thank you for joining the stream, and I'll answer your question now. I'm doing a mixture of things. So I find when I really want to learn something, I won't use AI at all. What I normally do is try and think about the problem for a bit, and if it's something I don't know, I will then I do it in steps. So first you think about the problem. The first thing you should do is think, do you know the steps to the problem? If you know the steps, that means you just don't know how to code it out, which is completely fine. So say for example, for this find by URL function, I know that I want to find the URL given the code, or I want to find the code given the URL, sorry. So I just know the steps, but I don't know how to write the Go code. So what I would do then is write out the steps myself and then tell the AI to show me the functions that I need. And then I'll kind of like figure it out on my own, because you're just building that mental pathway. So over time, you need to try and rely on it less and less. There's like different ways to learn, but I never do use like agents or be like, oh, code this for me fully. So yeah, to answer your question, I write it by hand when I'm learning. So what do you normally do? What's your learning method when you're coding? If you're still here. Okay, I'm gonna continue. Lovely. I hope I answered your question well. It's kind of hard to like fully put out my thought process. I know there's many ways to use AI to learn. You can use it really well to learn, but yeah, I feel like if I just told it finish this file for me, I wouldn't be learning anything. So what I normally do is just like stuff like this. You can see that it doesn't actually give me the full function. It's just really small parts, and then I'm actually writing the function myself. Because like if there's something you don't know, you can't help what you don't know. So you just have to figure it out one way or another. It's just using this is quicker than just searching on Google. Yep, so I'm gonna change this to if errors just return. And it should be alright. I think I fixed the errors, so I can just ask it to check. Can you right? So JSON.onMarshall returns an error normally. So the syntax stuff like this can be kind of hard sometimes. So we could say return Expected Boolean expression. Found assignment. Oh, okay. So we need a clause at the end to make sure that we're actually doing something. So we can say error is not equal to no. So here we do an assignment and then the actual case, right? Wait, actually no, I don't really get it. So can you explain the structure of if I highlight this, it should help. I've got statements like this. The ones with conditions. Celine, if you're still here, you didn't you didn't answer my question. I want to know if what I said helped at all, and if it's close enough to what you do when you're learning. Oh, thank you. Okay. Thank you for your response. I'm currently a senior computer science student. When I first started program, we wrote everything by hand, including assignments. You mean like on paper or on? Yeah. Right now, I'm also doing an internship, and everything is expected to be done quickly because of the AI situation. So I complete the tasks, but I feel like I'm just doing things by rote. Yeah, I get what you mean. I think the biggest piece of advice, for example. Okay, I'll let you finish first. Example, when I'm learning something new, I take the basics of AI, right? As a easy project by hand, then I break down the tasks into big projects, and tell AI to push me until I really understand everything. That's how I'm doing right now. Maybe it's not exactly the right way, but overall, I'm trying to focus more on the big picture. Yeah, that's completely fine. Yeah, I think what you're doing is really good actually. Um, like project building is like key when you want to learn because it'll keep you interested, and also yeah, just getting the basics down is fine. I think the one thing that you should focus on is when you're trying to learn something like completely brand new that you don't understand at all, uh, do it as if AI doesn't exist while still using AI. I know that it's kind of tricky to explain that, but you can use AI as a tool the same way that you would use like Stack Overflow or Google. But when you actually say to the agent like complete this for me, you're not learning anything. Um, but if you pushed yourself to like be like, oh yeah, what's the reason for this and what's the reason for that, you're actually engaging with the AI and it's giving you feedback and you're learning from the AI that way. So I think it's better to move forward that way instead of just letting it write the code. I swear I removed these commands. I don't need them anymore. What's going on? Okay, perfect. Okay. Yeah, but definitely you're doing a good job. You're doing great. Like you should keep building projects, keep learning whatever way you can, and also don't be intimidated by how fast AI is moving. Yeah, don't be intimidated by agents and everything like that because they're just gonna get better. You just have to move with it. But while you're learning, just pretend they don't even exist. Like you can still use them, but don't let them take over. Don't let them take control. Like it's best to just figure out how you want to learn how to code first, because once you learn how to code, you'll be able to use the agents better. if that makes sense. I guess there's no easy way. Writing everything by hand and getting feedback from AI seems like a good approach. I like the method. Yeah, definitely. No worries, man. No worries. Because at the end of the day, yeah, you just have to block all of that stuff out. Because all of the people that post about agents and all that kind of stuff, they're either very, very good at programming already, and they're just using them for fun, or they don't know what they're doing at all. And they make it seem like they know what they're doing, but the agents are basically doing everything for them. And the applications that they build are like completely shit. Just awful. So you shouldn't worry about it. Especially since you're still in college, there's time. You have time to figure stuff out. And the fact that you're doing an internship as well is great. So I think you just focus on your own improvement. Don't worry about don't worry about it. Yeah. Like you're doing a great job, honestly. And the fact that you're worried about it in the first place puts you ahead of the rest as well, because there's people that'll just use agents and they don't care. They're not never gonna learn anything. They're never gonna get any better. But they think that they're good because they're using the agents, But since you're thinking about it, you can get so much better. So anyway, that was a really good question you asked as well. I'm happy you asked it, because I've been thinking about the same thing for like months as well. Yeah, I think that should be good now. Awesome. So save is missing a duplicate URL check. You only check if the code exists, but not okay. Let me just open that up. So we check if yeah. No worries, man. I think it's I wouldn't say it's a popular method of learning, because I don't think a lot of people are doing much learning these days anyway, because of agents and all that. But I know a couple of people that use this method too, and it's really good. Like, it's not just coding that it applies to. You can use it for math, science, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Alright, so exists. Thank you, man. It's actually a full-time role, not an internship, but yeah, I appreciate it nonetheless. Good night, man. I'll hope to catch you in another stream. So we're gonna add reverse. No, don't worry, dude. You don't have to be sorry. There's no way you would have known. I graduated a while ago. It's all good. But good night, man. Results. Reverse plus. Can I check the code? Second exist check. Yeah, so. Let me move this up so we know it's the same stuff. Lists. I know. We've already got an exist variable. Let's say reverse. So here we check for the mapping of the code to entry, which is fine. But in reverse, it's the URL to the code itself. So when we use the first one being reverse, how many? Yeah, I guess it can be the exact same, right? So if exists, it's greater than 0, just return reverse. So now I need the find entry by code function, which is completely fine. I just quicker way of implementing that is just to start copying and paste everything. And call this find entry by code. Now the code coming in, but then we want to either return a URL entry. So that's fine. I want to either return nil or this, no, or error. We get our entry. If we have an error, return no, an error. Otherwise, we just return entry. Beautiful. Right, why? As modeled a URL tree, return statements. Okay, what's the problem? How did I fix this here? Line entry. Yeah, we should be fine. What's going on? So here, do I just change that? Yeah. Okay, can you check? This is alright. So it makes sense that we don't actually update the returning the wrong thing here and save. It's fine to wrong error message and save. I had a feeling. I remember looking over it because this is exists. We're checking for the URL, but I guess exists is checking on the key, right? URL code means the code is taken. So code already exists. Should be URL. It's completely fine. Increment clicks is still missing. Not a bother. Find entry by code looks correct though. Can you explain? Is there a problem with using model raw entry and find by code, but using model.url and find entry by code? It's actually the correct distinction. You only need two marshals over early to extract. So here we unmarshal to extract original URL. So value type one is fine because we're not returning the entry itself. We're returning the entry to the caller, so using model entry pointer is more appropriate. It avoids copying the whole struct on return and is consistent. I'll restore entries elsewhere. Alright, cool. No mistakes made. And then the last function. That is URL repository, increment clicks. Shouldn't be anything past it. Actually, increment clicks based on the code. I think it's the method signature or function signature even. Model. Oh yeah. Should just be an error. So in here, based off the code, we want to get the check. We want to get a check and then increase the number of clicks on that object, right? Yeah, so we get it. Instead of using article to entry, we're using cool. So in increment clicks, I'm assuming we use a similar method as find entry by code to get the entry, marshal it, update the number of clicks, and sure no. After updating the clicks, we need to remarshal and save it back. Oh, that's true. That's true. That's fine. That's fine. That is a bit code heavy for such a small method, but all good. So let's save our entry. Wait, since I'm updating the one that we have already, I don't want to copy it, so I should do this, right? And then I can say if JSON.onMarshal bytes plus our data, so data here. You also need the context. Awesome. So error is going to be redis dot points dot get based off the context. We're going to get our given the URL and the code. That gives us an entry back. So we want the results. The results is currently marshaled. So we unmarshal it. I'm gonna unmarshal that. Let me maybe update this. I just want to cool. Yep, so we have this. We're gonna make a byte out of our data. It's gonna be a reference to. So we want to update this actual entry just fine. And if the error isn't nil, we return error. And if it isn't, wait, what's the problem here? I have an extra bracket somewhere by accident. It shouldn't be here. Okay. We don't use error. Why is it saying that? I'm using it right now. Like it's clearly being used. Okay, let me just finish the function. Returning error. We know that we can take the entry. We can say entry dot clicks. We can increment that. And then we want to remarshal it the way that we do up here. So we do JSON, oh, sorry. Wait, so you have to do the full read modify write cycle yourself. So we do wait, so I'm basically using what I did here. I don't know why I'm getting so confused. But the only thing is so basically, so by saving it back to Redis, you mean calling set again. Okay, that makes sense. So I can just say data error is equal to JSON.marshal entry. Okay, I feel like I'm writing shit code right now because I used it up here. Okay, that's fine. That's not an error. That's fine. I can marshal entry, no problem. Check if there's an error, and then do what we need to do. Say no new variables on the left side. Okay, we can say entry error maybe. Okay, perfect. We'll say if entry error is not equal to null. Return entry error. So why can't we use this now? Value of type bytes. A string value in assignments. Can we just call this entry data? Hopefully that resolves that. And then, okay, I see the problem now. This is a different error. So we'll say if error is not equal to null, we return. Alright, so this is, let me give them actual explicit names. So in here, we're trying to get the entry. So let's say entry get error. Let's say if entry get error, we can return entry get error. And then in this case, we're trying to like unmarshal the data. So that is unmarshal error. We return unmarshal error. And then here, say marshal data marshal error. Return marshal. Otherwise, we want to actually do what we do here. So we do r.client dot set dot context. We're going to take the string ctx URL plus code value interface. What's going on here? Data should be Marshall data and then 0 and then return nil. Alright, so this should also be on Marshall error. Okay, I think this works, right? Yeah, and if it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. Just click scratch. Awesome. Now checking the error from the final client. Oh, it's my bad. Say if there's an error, so let me just. I was right with that, right? So if updates error, and then say update error is not equal to now. Is it Redis now or? That feels silently. The click increment would be worth capturing it. Alright, let's say what does most operations return a command object rather than the error. Error extracts the error from that command object. You'll notice you're already doing this implicitly in other places. Okay, cool. So it's just a unique handler. Okay. Still not checking their errors. You sure? I swear I handled them. Oh, these, right. So we're saying if, let's see, we're setting what are we setting here? So we're setting say code to data here. Code to data and then this would be if URL good error is not equal to no, then answer no is good error. Alright, so let's say implementation Redis, or not Redis, URL repository. I got this yet actually. Go to main, and the only thing we're gonna swap out actually would be swap this out for Redis. So I need the actual address for the Reddit client now. So how do I find the Redis? I guess starting the Docker is probably what I meant to do. And the address is simply localhost, yeah, 637. And then beyond that, let's see, git manage. Just git commit. Okay. I wonder if I have time for the Kubernetes. I think that should have its own stream because it could take hours because of all of the failures and stuff. And I think 1 hour 40 minutes for the stream that was meant to be probably like an hour is probably too much as well. Yeah, so to everyone that stopped by, thank you. I'll see you in the next stream. Peace. I'm gonna try stream tomorrow.